Fine. So in the last class, I was trying to explain the star prime algorithm, which aims to find a star prime sequence, which is essentially an augmenting path. So what is the input over here? The input over here is a non-negative matrix in which zeros are the entries of our interest. So the aim is to find a maximum uh, set of independent zeros. Okay. So the first thing it does, it takes the matrix, so that is B1, takes the matrix and goes on, the computer will go on scanning each element, and then as soon as it finds a zero, it converts, it puts a star in it, provided there is no zero star in its row or in its column. So that is what it will do, and this is how it will complete. So that you have seen how we do. So this is initialization, one time, only one time you do it. And then the second one, that is B2. After that, and the second stage, it will cover each column that has a zero star by a line, either a dashed line segment or a solid line segment. Okay. So this is also initialization. You start it one time. After that, it will actually do. Then in the algorithm, at every point of time, it will be asking one question, that whether there is a zero entry which is not covered by the lines. That is, it will ask whether there is an uncovered zero. If the answer is no, there is no uncovered zeros, then the algorithm will stop and say that this is B3, and it will say that the number of stars that you have got, that is the maximum number of independent zeros. Okay. And if it finds one uncovered zero, then it will prime it. And then it will ask whether there is a zero star in its row, the row of the prime. If there is a zero star, remember till now zero stars are all covered by column lines. So if there is a zero star, then what it will do? It will cover the zero star by a row now and uncover that column line. Okay, and in that way that prime also gets covered. Okay, and it will again ask the same question, whether all the zeros are covered. If the answer is yes, it will stop. If the answer is no, then get a zero prime. Ask the same question, and it repeats. It keeps on repeating. Okay, every time you get a zero prime, it will be asking this question whether there is a 0 star in its row. If there is one, then it will uncover its column and cover its row. And since in the beginning you had only finitely many 0 stars, at the best n number of, right? You only had some finitely many 0 stars, and therefore in the beginning you only had finitely many 0 columns. You cannot get too many primes that have 0 stars in their row. Okay, so there will come a time either you will stop by saying that, oh, no, I am not getting any, all the zeros are already covered, or you will get a 0 prime in which in the row of which you will not find a 0 star. Okay, so that is when you come to B5. Okay, so if there is no 0 star in its row, then you follow the algorithm. What it says, you check whether you have a 0 star in its column. If there is a 0 star in its column, remember that in the beginning all the 0 stars were covered by the columns. So this column was there, but it has been removed. It has been removed. In past, it basically means there was another prime in that 0 stars row. So you have one prime, found a 0 star in its column, then there you find another prime in that 0 stars row, and then you again ask whether there is a 0 star in that one's columns, and repeat the same thing to get a prime star sequence. The moment you get a prime star alternate sequence, all you have to do is change the primes involved in this sequence to stars and erase the stars from the 0 stars in this sequence. So that is what the algorithm is. Of course, that the algorithm will work correctly, that is clear, because the number of stars from the beginning is finite. At every step you are asking whether I have an uncovered 0. If you do not have an uncovered 0, then the proof that, if you have, suppose you have 5 stars and you have covered them by 5 lines and you do not have any uncovered 0, it basically means that the maximum set of independent zeros that you can find is 5, because you have covered all the zeros in the whole matrix by 5 lines. Then you cannot get 6 independent zeros, because by pigeonhole principle 2 zeros will fall on a line, so they will not be independent. Okay, so either that will happen, or you will keep on finding 0 primes, but then you cannot keep on discovering 0 primes which will have a 0 star in its row. That will not happen more than, the number of 0 stars that you have. So it will not happen. So it is bound to give you a 0 prime that does not have a 0 star in its row. Therefore, it is going to give you a prime star sequence. And in that way, then you can increase the number of stars. So it is bound to work. So that is the theorem. The algorithm works correctly. So these are the cases. Right. So I was yesterday I told how the before this I also explained how it works. So first thing I will do here, right now I want to explain how it is actually giving you the augmenting path. Okay, so first what you do now, the first thing algorithm says, you star them, and actually you can star them arbitrarily also, but because we are writing an algorithm, I mean that you can do as a human being or something. So but do not do that in, definitely not in the exam. You follow the method is so that everybody's answer, even my answer is also, it remains the same. So we read from the top, okay, always. So that read from the top, row by row. That is what we do. So we'll put the star. So that is what we do. Fine. We put stars over here. And then you cannot get anything. Once you give a star, you cannot give you cannot give any stars in that row or column. Okay. Now what happens the moment you have given a star, and then what you do, now you cover them by columns. That's what I did earlier. So cover them by columns. So I wrote like C1, C2, C3, and then we have taken correctly. Yes, C1, C2, C3, C6. Okay, if you want, you cover them, so you can strike them down, but I will not strike them down. So when you are writing C1, C2, C3, C6, acha, the whole matrix, whenever there is a 0, for example, 1, 3 is 0. So from L1 to R3, I have one edge over here. Okay, so this bipartite graph is drawn according to the 0 entries in matrix A. Now when I am saying C1, C2, C3, C6, so I will put a star over here. These are the stars. What does it mean? See, in a matrix, if you are looking at the first row, see the one and the entries that are one, they don't matter because we are only considering the 0 entries. So if I am looking at first row, I am just seeing two edges. One goes to 3 and one goes to 5. So essentially what I am, the first row is standing for the vertex L1 and its neighbors. Okay. The second row has 3 zeros. 2 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, and 2 goes to 5. So it is standing for the second vertex. Okay. Second vertex, that is L2 and its neighbors. Okay. And similarly, columns are standing for the vertices on the right and their neighbors. Okay, so it is essentially they are standing for the vertices on the right. And C1, so C1 is standing for R1, C2 is standing, column 2 is standing for R2. For example, in C1 I have A3 1, 3 going to 1, and 4 going to 1. So that is what I see, that L4 is going to R1, and L3 and L4, they are both going to R1. So it is standing for R1. So right now I have selected R1, R2, R3, R6. Okay. These are the ones that I have selected. And what edges I have selected, the starred edges, that is a matching that I have selected. I have selected 1 going to 3, this one. Okay. So I will show what I have done. So essentially, this is what I have done. So I have selected 1 going to 3, okay, and then 2 going to 2, so that is this one, and then 3 going to 1, that is the another one diagonal type, and then 4 going to 6 on the top, the red ones. Okay, so I have found the initial star zeros and then marked the columns C1, C2, C3, C6, and because of C1, C2, C3, C6, I have put the stars here, 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 and here. R1, R2, R3, R6. You see there is R6 star. Okay, so that is what I have done. Fine. So the first two steps of the algorithm are done. Then, so essentially cover C1 by a line. Remember that one, huh? When I am writing C1, it means cover C1 by a line. It means this only. Cover C2 by a line, and like that. Cover C3 by a line. Cover C6 by a line. That's what it means. Okay. So essentially, it basically means you select these. We have selected these 4 vertices. Okay. On the right, and we are seeing this as a I mean, somewhat a vertex cover kind of a thing. So what I am asking, have these are the whether these 4 vertices are covering all the edges. When I have a set of vertices, I say they cover all the edges if every edge has an endpoint in it. Okay, so basically I am looking for an edge. So whether I am asking whether every edge has an endpoint in it, which essentially means that whether all the zeros, all the edges are essentially covered, or all the zeros are covered. So this is not the case. For example, I have 1 5 over here, A15, that is remaining there. This essentially means, okay, L1 to R5, that edge does not have R1 star, R2 star, or R3 star, or R6 star as an endpoint. Essentially, it is saying that. Okay, fine. So I choose A15 now. Now I have chosen A15. Okay. Once I have chosen A15, what is the question that I ask? Now in the matrix, I will show the matrix over here. In the matrix, I ask whether there is a 0 star in its row. Well, there is a 0 star in its row. Okay. So when I ask whether there is a 0 star in its row, a similar question over here is that whether it is this line, so is adjacent to this line, is adjacent to 1. So what I have selected L1 to R5. So whether this line is adjacent to a matching, essentially. Basically, this line is coming close to a matching. So adjacent, yeah, you can call adjacent, I think. This green line is falling on L1 star. Okay, not L1 star, but L1, and it is adjacent to the matching line L1 R3. So in that case, what the algorithm says, in that case, uncover the column and cover the row. So essentially, the star that was at R3, that goes away, and there is a star created in its row, and the row was the first row, so L1 star. That is how the star shifts. Okay. Now, as soon as the star shifts, what you look at all the starred vertices. If you can take a little bit of time, just look at all the starred vertices and see if you can find one edge that does not have a starred vertex as endpoint. Okay, and read from top row. Since you are reading from top row and top row stands for L1, so basically I am reading from top row, that means I am looking at L1. Well, top row, anyone will be having L1 star as endpoint. So I must look at L2. Now L2 goes to R2, R2 is a star. L2 goes to R3. Okay, and neither L2 is a star nor R3 is a star. So I must have found A23 after this. I don't want to see the matrix anymore, but that will be the same thing. And in that case, what you see, so then in the next step, you get L2 R3. So that you make green. The moment you make that green, okay, L2 R3, and then you see what so whether it has a star in its row. So essentially what I am asking, whether that L2 is matched to something. So then I see the red line at L2, and L2 is matched to R2, and R2 has a star. So then that R2 star comes to, the star of R2 comes to L2. So that is what has happened. And then I am, so essentially it means I have now covered, there were 4 columns covered in the beginning. So now I have 2 columns and 2 rows. If you are looking at the matrix, if you are looking at the graph, I have 2 vertices on the right, 2 stars on the right and 2 on the left. Fine. And I am again asking whether there is a 0 uncovered. Here it is the same question, whether I can find an edge with no star as end vertex. Well, you read from the top, L1 covered by star. So row 1 you will not find, row 2 you will not find because they are all stars. Now in L3, the first one is star, so fine. L3 to R2 there is no edge. L3 to R3 no edge. L3 to R4, yes. Here is an edge without a star. Okay. So make that green. So in the next step, I am going to make that green. L3 to R4. Fine. I will make that green. And I will ask, Acha, is L3 involved in a matching or not? No, L3 is involved in a matching. You know, here L3 goes to R1 star, that red line is there. Okay, in that case, what you do, take this star from right hand side, go to take it to left hand side. So that's what you have done. And again, ask the same question, can I find an edge with no end vertex having a star? So in that case, you see L4 R1. Okay. So from the beginning itself, because I am reading from the I will be reading the matrix from the top. So I will first find L4R1. So make that green and ask whether L4 is involved in a matching. Now, yes, L4 R6 is a matching and R6 is a star. In that case, bring the star to the left hand side. So that's what the final thing. Okay. So essentially right now what you would be seeing, the whole matrix is now covered by 4 rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. And you have taken the primes like this only. Okay. And then you again ask whether there is an uncovered zero. That means whether there is an edge without involving stars as vertices. Now, yes, from L5 I can select R3. L5 has only one edge, so R3. So I select that. L5 to R3. That's what I select. And then now, whether L5 is involved in a matching, no. So this is the first place I am seeing the left hand vertex is not involved in a matching. In all the previous cases, the left hand vertex was involved in a matching and the right hand vertex had a star and I pulled it back. Now what has happened, I am looking at a situation where the left hand vertex is not involved in a matching. So this is a free vertex. Remember, so this is the beginning of my augmenting path. This is a unmatched vertex. Okay, so I find this one. Fine. It has come to R3. Fine. Now, is R3 an unmatched vertex? Now, it is matched only. In this example, it is matched. But if it is unmatched, well, then I have one more matching edge. I can immediately add this edge to my matching set of matchings if R3 is unmatched. So better assume, for argument's sake, that R3 is matched, which is the case here. Now, because R3 is matched, but remember in the beginning R3, everything on the right were having stars. So where did its star go? Well, now its star has gone to the left hand side because you have found some green edge adjacent to L1. So what you see, so then you find this one, then you find this green edge. So basically what you are seeing, now L5 to R3 and to L1. L1 having a star, R3 star has gone to L1 because of the green edge L1 to R5. Okay, is R5 a matched vertex or unmatched vertex? No. R5 is a unmatched vertex, because if R5 was a matched vertex, I would have asked where has its star gone. So it has gone to there. That has gone because there was one more green edge. I would have extended this. So right now what you have, you see this green edge L1 R3, L5 R3, L1 R5. So that is an augmenting path where this is green, this is matching edge, this one is matching edge, and this one is non-matching edge. So here these two are non-matching and vertices are non-matching. So what it is saying, now in that case, remove this matching edge, remove this one, remove this matching edge, and make the other two edges matching. So that means in the next you will have L1 to R3 red. See L1 to, so acha, Here the augmenting path is shown using the dashed lines, and the prime star sequence that I have got was A53, okay, and the star is A13. Okay, this is the bipartite graph, and we read the matrix from left to right. Okay, for example, for this edge, for L3 to R4, the edge we read as A34, not A43. Okay, A34, left to right, A34. From L6 to R3, the edge I would read as A63. This stands for the edge, stands for the point of the matrix A63, that entry, not A36. Okay, so what is my augmented path? Now my augmenting path is that L5, R3, L1 star, and R5. That is my augmenting path. And my prime star sequence was A53. This is for A53. Okay. And this one is A13. That is star actually. Okay. And then I have, so you can actually prime star. So I can put a prime over here. I put a star over here so that people understand, and put a prime over here. So 1 to 5. This is A15. Okay. So this was the prime star sequence. When you find the prime star sequence, it said, okay, change it. Change the primes to stars and make the middle star, I mean, go vacant. So just dissolve it. So in the next matching, you would have got, remember what we would have got? We would have got A53 and A13 is gone. What are the A46? That is 1. A31 we would have got, and A22 that we would have got, and A15. This is what we would have got. So that is the augmenting path, and therefore we have got these 5 stars, A15 and A22 and A31 and A46 and A53, and these are the edges. Now you do the same thing again, whether this is enough or not. So to do that, you can, acha, so you can do the same thing again. I will not explain this in graph now. You can explain yourself in graph. I will simply start the algorithm and tell how to write quickly. So I have C1, C2, C3, C5, C6. That is my first lines. So that is what I see as columns. So I imagine that as if everything is, the initial stars are covered by columns. Okay, so then I see, is there one uncovered 0? Now yes, there is one uncovered 0, and it is in third 4, so A34. Okay, so because A34 is there, in that case the third row will be coming, and the first column will go. So this will be, so you will write stage, this is stage 2. Okay, and these are primes. So we have taken this as prime A34. Okay, the table actually I make, you will see I have made table. So C1 now C1 changes to R3. R3, C2, C3, C5, C6. Okay. C2, C3, there is nothing over here. C5, C6. So what is the next one that I get? I get A4, 1, because that has been uncovered. There is a star in its row. Now, yes. So therefore, C6 will change and R4 will come in. So I'll have R3, C2, C3, C5, R4. Okay. Now I have R3, R4, and then C2, C3, and C5. Okay. C2, C3, C5, R3, R4. Next one to read is this one. Okay, this is A6. Anything? No, I do not have anything. I do not have anything, because so this is none. So what has happened after doing this? I see everything is covered. Okay. See, any zero that you are seeing over here, let me, because I am seeing it is covered, so let me cover it actually, then you will see. This is R3, R4, and then C2, C3, and C5. Okay. So that covers all the zeros. Any zero that you are seeing, either they are in these two rows or in these three columns. Okay. So essentially what will happen, there you will get R2, R3 star. So you will get L3 star, L4 star, and then right hand side you will get R2 star, R3 star, and C5 star. C5 means R5, yeah. So this is, and you see that you have got a you have got 5 lines that has covered all the zeros. That is, you have got a vertex cover here. So it essentially means the maximum number of zeros that you can get over this in this matrix is 5 only. Okay. And so this explains that the third point where the algorithm stops. So it says whether there is an uncovered zero, the answer is no, there is no uncovered zero, so you stop. Okay. So essentially you write this way, because this way only it is going to be if you like cross this matrix, then I mean you only will know which one you have crossed first, but I will not be able to see. So you write it in this way if you are writing. Okay. So then there comes a corollary.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I just a small doubt. So when we're writing the stages and all, we're selecting the prime zeros. So there also we should follow the northwest rule, right? If we have a choice between
Right. Yeah, please. Because otherwise you are 190 students. I will have tough time in seeing what you are doing. You
Yes,
like
sir. So
different.
essentially, whenever there is a choice, we should follow the northwest rule.
In the exam.
Yes, sir.
In the exam.
Yes,
Outside
yes.
you do whatever you want. That is okay. So yeah, so otherwise I will have difficulty in evaluation.
Yes, sir. For consistency, sure.
Right. So then we have a corollary. This is a small corollary which follows. In different texts, you will find this as a theorem. They prove it from a different this thing, and then they proceed. So suppose that you have a square matrix, then the maximum number of independent zeros is the same as the minimum number of lines required to cover the zeros. Okay, that is what it says. So for example, if you have the maximum number of independent zeros is 5, because these are independent zero, you will at least require 5 lines. That part is clear. Okay. Conversely, if the maximum number of independent zero is 5, then according to this algorithm, I can actually cover them by 5 lines. I can actually cover all the zeros of the matrix by 5 lines, and therefore 5 is the minimum number of lines that is required. Okay. If the maximum number of independent zero, assume that the maximum number of independent zero is k, and because these are independent zeros, you will require at least k lines. Now I want to say that actually there is a set of k lines which will cover all the zeros of the matrix, and that comes by the algorithm. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to do this workout, but I think now it is not necessary. You people can work this out. Do you want me to work out the stages for this one?
So maybe we'll try on our own.
Maybe you can actually. It is not that difficult or anything. Have I given the answer or not? No, I have not. But you can do it. I am not here. I am only asking the star prime. This thing. Okay. Find the maximum set of independent zeros. When I am saying you are following the star prime, there is no need to draw the graph. If I say draw the graph and show me the augmenting path, that is a different thing. Then you have to do that. But here it is just the star prime. So the initial, like, it is not a big deal actually. You can read from here, this one, then you read this one, and then this one, then you read next this one, then it will read this one, then it will do this one. So you have like C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C7, C8. So this is the first prime. So this one becomes a row, and this one is this one. So I will have next one. I think I will have this one. You can do it, but you better write as in the table form. So it is fine. You can do it. I should erase this one. So yeah, no, it is. Let it be there. Let me go to the Hungarian algorithm, the main algorithm that I wanted to say. So what is the Hungarian algorithm? Now, remember the whole story. The whole story started with a cost matrix. There were n persons, n jobs. You have to assign each person a job, but for getting your job done, you have to pay the money. Now you are worried that how to get all the jobs done by paying the least possible amount. And then in the beginning, what we understood, solving it for C and solving it for another matrix CDAX, where CDAX is obtained from C by subtracting some constant from different constants from each row, and subtracting different constants from each column. Okay, so the solution for the second, any solution for the second cost matrix and any solution, the same solution for the initial cost matrix, they only differ by one fixed constant, and that constant is the sum of the uh, numbers that you have actually subtracted. That is the constant only. So everything differs by constants. So you find a solution for the second cost matrix, find a minimum solution for that. That will be the minimum solution for the original cost matrix. So that was the idea. So that matrix is called the reduced cost matrix. Okay. And what is that matrix? Now here, suppose you have been given a matrix like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that, 7, 8, 9. What it says, you first delete the minimum of each row from that row. So then you will have 0, 1, 2, minimum going, you will have 0, 1, 2, minimum going 0, 1, 2, and then subtract the minimum of the columns from each column. So then you will have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I subtracted 1 from second column, 2 from third one, and so that is what it is. And so what it says like you pick any. So this particular one is easy actually. Somehow, anyway, I mean the whole matrix got reduced to 0, so that was anyway. This is the reduced cost matrix essentially. So had I taken something like 8 over here, I would have got a 4 over here, and I would have got a 2 over here, in which I would have avoided it. Anyway, so this is the reduced cost matrix. So take the matrix, first subtract the row minimums from each row, then whatever is the matrix, subtract the column minimums from each column, so that in each column and in each row you have at least 1, 1, 0. Okay. By the way, in our previous this thing, where I had 4, 5, I had 6 over here, so that I had 2 over here and I had a 0 over here. This was 6, this was 2, this was 0. So it basically says you can select any permutation of 3 zeros. For example, you can pick this, this, and this. Okay, that will be a minimum cost solution, and the corresponding solution would be this one. Right. And so every permutation that you are seeing, whatever permutation you take, this will give you not only this permutation, you can take this permutation also, the diagonals. Everything will give you the same, the cost 15. Okay, every diagonal will give you cost 15 essentially, not the row sum, column sum, that kind of a thing. It is saying all the diagonals, like A11. So this is one diagonal, another is like this way. Yeah, like there are 6 3 factorial permutations. Yeah, so that is the reduced cost matrix. Acha, so you have got the reduced cost matrix. Now you want to find a perfect matching. So suppose that forget this one. I just leave it. Do I have some space over here? Oh, I forgot to give space. एक मिनट. Hello. Devajit, I am in a class. I will call you after 10 minutes. Now suppose I have this kind of a matrix. In the reduced cost matrix, I got something like this: 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 2, 3, 0, 0. Now suppose I have this kind of a matrix. This is one typical this thing. So what happens? This is a reduced one. You cannot further reduce. Row minimums are 0. You cannot reduce. Column minimums are 0. No reduction further. Okay. Then what happened? Now then I apply star prime algorithm. So you apply star prime algorithm, it will give you some two. I mean the maximum, for example, is this one. So there are 2 lines that it can cover. Okay. But did that solve my problem? No, it did not. Actually, I was searching for the minimum cost assignment, right? Now, this has given me only 2 stars. I was hoping to get 3 stars, 3 0 stars. If I get 3 0 stars, I am happy. Then I know this is the minimum cost solution, or therefore the corresponding solution is the minimum cost solution. The same solution is the minimum cost solution of the original matrix. But I have only got 2 stars. And this star prime algorithm will be happy to give me these 2 stars and say that, okay, you can cover this whole zeros by 2 lines. And after that, it is stopped. It has stopped then. Now my problem is still remaining. I mean, I had n by n matrix. I reduced it, created few zeros, applied star prime algorithm. Star prime algorithm found some n minus 3 stars, covered them by n minus 3 lines, and said, "Bhai, this is this much only." So then comes the Hungarian algorithm. So this is the original algorithm. The Hungarian algorithm says that now what you do is you look at, so cover them by the minimum number of lines. So do the covering. Okay, so this covering, for example, in this example, we have done the covering. Now in the covering, whatever you have done, now you see the, remember, you have covered all the zeros that was present in the matrix. Now, yes, we have done that. Therefore, the entries that are not covered are positive entries only. Yes, they are positive entries. Now, what you do, you subtract the minimum from them. So what you do, you subtract the minimum from them and add, keep those stars, add the same minimum to the intersection of lines. So you will be writing 0 star, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1 over here. This last 0 is intersection point, 0, 0 star. Now what is that? The algorithm says this much only. I will tell why it is happening. Actually, you can figure out, like if I tell that this transformation happens by subtracting the rows and columns with some suitable numbers, then you can yourself can figure it out. Then you get this one. And remember, if you see the covering, that the cover we did, outside the cover you have now created more zeros. And now it says, okay, look, you had covered all the zeros, but outside that I have created new zeros. So therefore you do again the star prime algorithm. You apply the star prime algorithm, and then after that if you apply the star prime algorithm, you will get this only. Okay, I mean, whether in one step or another step or something. So that is the Hungarian algorithm. The Hungarian algorithm says the following. Okay, acha, in the beginning also, if I have if I have more jobs or more persons, less jobs, the matrix is not square, then you make it square and adding by 0 rows and columns. Okay, you make it square, and then compute the reduced cost matrix, that is by subtracting the row minimum, column minimum. And then the Hungarian algorithm says cover all the zeros in the matrix by minimum number of lines. It actually, if you see in different text, it actually does not say that use this star prime algorithm or use this, but you have to use some algorithm. If I give you some 5 by 5 or 10 by 10 matrix by hand, you probably can do with some intuition. But a 50 by 50 matrix given, you have to feed it to the computer and you have to use the algorithm. So this is the star prime algorithm is there. And then it says once you cover by minimum number of lines, and then from the uncovered area you subtract S, the minimum, S be the smallest of the uncovered elements, subtract S from all uncovered elements and S to all intersection point. This is same as subtracting S from the uncovered columns and adding S to the covered rows. If you have not figured that out, this is, in fact, not only this way, you can write it in another way also. Okay, so subtract -1 -1 from here, subtract 0 from here. Okay, and in columns you do here I will take +1 0 0. That's what it will do. Okay, so that is how it will add 1, and then that's how we will get. Okay, so and then it says if all the elements of the matrix are covered, then the starred elements describe this, because here I am writing all the elements, because by the time you get n stars, all the elements, not only 0 but everything will be covered. So yeah, that is what basically it means. The time you get n stars, that is when you stop. Okay, I will do one more example that you can also do it, but I will do it in the next class. I will stop here. You want to ask something, you ask.